aeronautical abilities.
My personal feelings were wondering how I was so lucky to be able to fly with Colonel Dewdale. A very intriguing person, very intelligent, very quiet. He treated everybody with respect.
Young Bill Frieda served aboard the carrier USS Hornet as it transported the 16 Army bombers into enemy waters. He still recalls the day of the risky takeoff.
That day was the roughest that I ever saw any of the launching. You know, the flight deck kept going down, and you're standing there looking down, and the airplane's going towards the water, and then the carrier goes up, and then you look up, and you see an airplane right above you.
Once the B-25s had dropped their bombs, they could not return to the carrier. One landed safely in the Soviet Union, but the others all ran out of fuel and crashed, trying to reach friendly bases in China. Except for 7 men, 73 crew members miraculously survived.
Being young and thinking that we could do anything was part of the volunteering, and the other thing was that it's something that we had agreed to take on the responsibility of defending the country, and it was a job that we had to do.
The attack provided the greatly needed morale boost for America and showed Japan how vulnerable its homeland could be. Thanks to the American ability to break the Japanese radio code, the U.S. military had advanced notice of upcoming Japanese naval operations. During the Battle of the Coral Sea, U.S. planes sank one Japanese aircraft carrier in May of 1942 and 4 more during the engagement at Midway 4 weeks later, thus bringing the enemy's expansion to a halt. Japan would never recover from its carrier losses. The winds of fortune had changed in America's favor. During the following campaigns, American forces would begin to recapture Japanese-held islands and territories in the Pacific. The principles of air power and naval aviation, so effectively demonstrated by the Japanese during the attack on Pearl Harbor, now helped the Americans to fight their long way back to Japan and ultimately defeat the enemy. The storm the Japanese had ignited had come back to them with much greater force. However, no matter what type of weapon is being used, it is always the man in the machine who has to fight.
It's not a look in the park. But it is, the enemy was very determined, and we were too. We knew that we would never be stopped by the enemy short of the target unless they shot us down. We would go in no matter what. There was never a person that turned back because of personal fear or anything like that. Once you started, you were going to complete that mission.
Jack Podesky was a young pilot stationed in the Pacific.
Our thoughts, 19, 20-year-old kids, was something that we had to do, not something that, well, it would be nice, or the outcome might be this or might be that. It was something we had to do, and we weren't going to stop at any ceasefires. We were going to go for full victory, unconditional surrender, and that's what we did.
These scarred old hangars stand proudly, not only as a testament to the events the world has seen since December 7th, 1941, but to the spirit of those who stepped up to answer the call and those who didn't return home.
They gave the service to the country. They dedicated their lives for a period of time, and they were willing to die. That sounds funny, doesn't it? Willing to die. No one is willing to die, but when you're in the military, you have to know that you can die. If you're charging into a machine gun or something like that. But you do it because your buddy is doing it too. You're supporting him, and he's supporting you. And that's the way it works. You may be terribly afraid on your own, very, very much afraid, but you go ahead and you never turn back.
As you go through these historic hangars, stop and think of the people who flew these planes. the people that willingly put their lives on the line so that we can enjoy the freedom we all have today. From December 7th, 1941, until this very day, these historic hangars stand to tell their story.